Okay, this is a long problem. Okay, there's a lot of steps. I want your notes to look like my notes. I want your notes to look like my notes, okay? So make sure that you're following along. Here we go. My A equals 3, my B equals 6, and my C equals -11. Here's my formula. I'm going to copy it on my example, but I don't need you to copy it on every problem, but I just want you to have it as you go through. Opposite of B, plus or minus, B squared minus 4AC, all over 2A. Okay, so here we go. X equals opposite of B. So B is 6, this is opposite of B. Plus or minus B squared minus 4 times A times C. So A is 3, C is -11, and then over 2A. Okay, here we go. This is 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, and then here, I'm just going to use my calculator. -4 times 3 times -11 is 132. So that's 36 plus 132, which is 168. So this is 168. Okay, -6 plus or minus 168, and then 2 times 3 on the bottom is 6. Okay, so in the past, what we've done, before we knew better, we've gone, oh, I'm done, and stopped here. Here's the deal. There's more you can do. Let's take this 168. Let's factor. Okay, so I'm going to factor. I notice it's even. And then look, I'm like, I don't know. 168 divided by 2, 84. That's even. That's 42. That's even. That's 21. This is 3 and 7. Okay. So what do I get? I get 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. Here's my double. Oh, single, single, single. So this just becomes 2, and on the inside, 2 times 3 times 7. Let's see, that's 2 times 3 is 6 times 7, 42. Okay, so watch what I'm going to do. This is 2 root 42 over 6. Okay, now notice, look. This 168 is the same as 2 root 42, right? I just did this work here. I did this work over here, and I brought it back here. Now, there's one more step to do, because this is a fraction, and it can be reduced. And that's what we do. When we have fractions that can be reduced, we reduce it. So here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this number, and this number. Not this one, not the one inside. Because that number inside the radical is like basically not a number. Like it's basically like an x. Like we can't really work with that number in the radical. But I look at these 3 numbers and say, is there a number that all 3 of these can be divided by? And there is. They can all be divided by 2. So I'm going to divide each of those numbers by 2. Here's what that looks like. This is -6 divided by 2. That's -3. This is, then I bring down plus or minus. This is 2 divided by 2. That's 1. I'm not going to write 1 root 42. That's just this. Okay, now let's say this was a 10 right here. Well, then when I divide by 2, I would have a number in front, right? It would say 5 root 42. But in this case, 2 divided by 2 is just 1. I don't write it. And then now I'm doing the bottom. 6 divided by 2 is 3. This is what's called fully simplified. And that is my answer.